What's up YouTube? Welcome back to Celio's Network. I've been playing the Pokemon trading card game for most of my life, and I've been super interested in the design of the cards for quite a while. So today I am very excited to bring to you my video on the history of card design in the Pokemon trading card game. Over the years, I've heard many questions, rumors, and claims about the different design teams that have worked on the Pokemon trading card game in its 20 plus years in existence. I've been really interested in researching and finding answers to see what is true and what is false and what still remains a mystery, and I'm hoping that I can provide you all with some new information today. Before we get further into the video, a quick question for everybody watching. Do you think the 3 cards on the screen were all made by the same design team? The answer may just leave you hitting yourself in confusion. Like I said, I've heard tons of claims about the design team history of the Pokemon trading card game, but there's 3 that have stuck out as frequent and valid to me that I really wanted to research and see if they were true or not. Those 3 are: Wizards of the Coast used to design Pokemon cards, a new team was brought in for the black and white sets, and what about the Pokemon Card Lab? I thought they made the cards. So hopefully I will be answering these 3 questions and possibly even more with the information I have found. The main sources I will be citing for my information today are Pokemon themselves, Pokemon.com, Bulbapedia, which is a great source of Pokemon TCG information, Creatures Inc., IGN.com, and Zener Networks Incorporated. So why exactly have I waited so long to make a video about this if it's been on my mind for quite some time? Well, a recent article on Pokemon.com interviewing Mr. Nagashima, the current game director of Pokemon TCG at Creatures Inc., had some information that piqued my interest and made me think maybe some of my assumptions were actually right and these other claims were incorrect. Mr. Nagashima mentioned that he has been involved with the Pokemon TCG since 2001, and he is currently the game director at Creatures Inc. Now, just because he's been working on the Pokemon TCG since 2001 doesn't mean he's been doing so with Creatures Incorporated, but this made me think there was enough of a correlation there. Let's see if I can actually find evidence that shows he's been working with Creatures on the Pokemon TCG since 2001. The first thing we're going to look into here is Wizards of the Coast. You probably know them for making Dungeons & Dragons and Magic the Gathering, but Wizards also made the Pokemon base set, right? So these 2 cards, Alakazam and Charizard, they might pique some nostalgic emotions in you when you see them. Really awesome cards from the base set. And down there on the bottom with the copyrights, you'll notice it says 1999 Wizards, standing for Wizards of the Coast. So Wizards made base set, right? That's actually wrong. So from 1998 until 2003, Wizards of the Coast was responsible for translating and distributing Pokemon trading cards, which were originally published by Media Factory. Media Factory, now known as Kadokawa, published and distributed the Pokemon TCG in Japan until 2006, and continued publishing it until 2013. Just to make sure we're all on the same page, the publishers actually make the physical product, and then the distributors give it to people to sell, give it to stores and hobby shops, websites, things like that. So Media Factory was actually creating the physical Pokemon cards, but they were not actually designing the cards. They were not putting the attacks, the HP, the Pokemon's names. They were not doing any of that. And Wizards did that, but just for everywhere outside of Japan. They took care of North America. They translated it from Japanese to English, and then they distributed the cards out to stores. Nintendo and Pokemon eventually started producing and distributing the cards themselves, but that's not really what we're talking about here today. The fact is, Wizards of the Coast was not designing the actual cards. The exception to this, however, is Dark Raichu from the Team Rocket set. So this Dark Raichu was the first Pokemon card to be released internationally prior to it being released in Japan. Wizards of the Coast actually made this card. They designed Dark Raichu specifically for the English Team Rocket set, and it was a secret rare in the set, and then it was released later in Japan. So Wizards of the Coast, they made 1 card, and it was Dark Raichu. So I've established that Wizards of the Coast were not the designers of the Pokemon trading card game in the beginning, aside from Dark Raichu. So with that caveat out of the way, let's take a look at Creatures Incorporated. Creatures Incorporated were established in November 1995, actually prior to the Pokemon Company being established, and the Pokemon Company is listed here as an affiliate of Creatures Inc. on their main website, and right below that you'll see on their business lineup, it says the development of trading card games is one of their main things. On this next slide here, we look at the writing. Pokemon trading card game development in 1996. 10/20 was the release date of base set, here confirming on Creatures Inc.'s main website. In their company history, they developed the Pokemon trading card game base set. If this meme is describing how you feel right now, don't worry, you're probably not the only one. It's always been Creatures Incorporated. So the next thing I want to talk about is Black and White, the set from Pokemon that came out around the same time as the video game Black and White. I've heard that they changed design teams for that, and if we look in Creatures Incorporated's company history, we'll see here 2010 they developed the Pokemon trading card game Black and White. Also note that the development dates here are listed as the release dates of the product. If we look slightly above that, we'll see they developed Pokemon Legend pieces, the cards that went together to create one card, and above that they had a joint development with a company called Zener Works Incorporated for a Nintendo DSiWare game. Now, that's important because on this next slide, we'll see that they had a joint development with Zener Works Incorporated for Pokemon trading card game Black and White Starter Set Plus. When I found this, I was like, this is it. I found it. This is why I've heard that they changed companies around this time. They brought in a new company. So Creatures Inc. didn't actually leave. They just brought in a new company to work on the game with them. This actually isn't true. They kept working on the card game by themselves as Creatures Incorporated. I dug into Zener Works Incorporated a bit, and they are actually a video game company that made the Pokemon card game How to Play for DS that only came out in Japan. The dates line up 2011. They were in joint development, and I showed you on that previous slide, they have worked with Creatures Incorporated for past Pokemon games on the DS. So they actually were not designing the cards at all. They were just helping make this DS game that was a How to Play. That came out either around the same time or right before Pokemon TCG Online came out in the States to teach people how to play the game. So there we go. Pokemon trading card game Black and White. It was worked on solely by Creatures Incorporated, released in 2010. In 2011, it does show that they paired with another company, but that was just for this How to Play DS game, as far as I can find. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about is the Pokemon Card Laboratory. I've heard about PCL from plenty of friends and other people in the community talking about card design. Sometimes people don't even cite Creatures. They say, oh yeah, the Card Laboratory. I never knew exactly what it was, and I actually had somebody the day prior to doing this recording for the video tell me they couldn't find anything about the Pokemon Card Laboratory, but I found out exactly what that is. So the Pokemon Card Laboratory is actually the dedicated room for playtesting in the Creatures Incorporated office. It is not a separate entity, and this was taken from an IGN India interview with Mr. Nagashima and two other Creatures Incorporated employees, where they actually show you a picture of the Pokemon card game laboratory, which is the playtesting room in Creatures Incorporated's office. It's a room with a long rectangular table that seats about 20 players, so they can have about 10 games of Pokemon going on at the same time. And something else interesting in those filing cabinets behind them is every Pokemon card, or approximately every Pokemon card ever created. So Pokemon Card Laboratory is not actually a separate entity. That's just the playtesting room at Creatures Incorporated. One last exception, and shout out to my friend Scott Creech for bringing this up to me, because I don't think I would have ever dug to find this out. But EX Power Keepers was actually partially designed by Nintendo. This excerpt from Bulbapedia reads, having no Japanese set at the time to correlate with EX Power Keepers, Nintendo created many new cards, making this set the first since Team Rocket, remember Dark Raichu, to use original cards created outside of Japan. And this set was actually the first set to have a bulk of cards translated from English to Japan for the Japanese release, as opposed to translated from Japan to English for the English release. That's all I have for you all today. I hope this was some new, exciting, interesting information. And if you can find any evidence that either goes along with what I said or that goes against what I said, I'm interested in it all, and I would love to have some more discussion about this. I put hours upon hours into researching for this, and I gotta say I had so much fun, and I hope you all enjoyed this history of card design as well. Shout out to my sponsor, PotownStore.com, the best place for you to get PTCGO codes. Use code Celio for 5% off over there. Subscribe to this channel if you are not already for more daily Pokemon TCG content, and I'll see you next time here on Celio's Network.